So I'm sure we've all heard the term natural selection before. I know I have. Well, actually, I didn't. I actually never heard of the term natural selection until I watched the movie called Natural Selection, which is the star of today's video. I remember tripping across this movie back in 2017, which was about a year after the movie came out, and this was during my depressive arc. I just finished high school, parents were pressuring me to find out what to do with myself, and I was at a loss at life during that time. And I didn't know what the meaning of life was at that point in time. I'm not going into too many details on it, but it was a very, very dark moment in my life. And what coincidental timing that I just happened to watch this movie around that same time period. Man, was that an interesting time in my life back when I was 18 years old. I just remembered one day, I was scrolling through Netflix, and then this movie came up in my feed. Oh, this looks relatable. A boy who goes to a new school, and he has to deal with being bullied, and he meets someone who has a dark outlook on life. That really resonated with me when I was younger, during that time period. It really did resonate with me. So I figured, you know what? Let's check this out, and see what it has to offer. So in this video, I'm going to do a deep dive of the movie Natural Selection. So for full disclosure here, I will be spoiling the movie, so if you haven't watched this and are planning on watching it and don't want it to be spoiled, please click off now. So the movie starts off with what I'm assuming is Derek, who we hear about a lot in the show, but we don't fully understand what the whole story behind him is. And basically we're seeing Derek basically die, from what it sounds like. And it looks like he's been shot, but the film doesn't make it clear. The film doesn't make it clear who did shoot him. Who did he get shot by? The movie points to people later on in the film, but we'll get to that in a bit. But yes, it was a very interesting start to the film, all things considered. This is where we meet our main protagonist, Tyler Evans, who is played by Mason Dye. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I might be getting that wrong, I do apologise. Him and his mother, from what it seems like, are moving to a new house. It seems like they moved cross-country as well, based on how the intro portrays it. And from what it seems like, they've had some issues in the past. Based on what we see in the first scene, it seems like his mother is a bit of an alcoholic. We don't get much clarification on where his dad is, but we'll get to that in due time. But their dad is no longer in the picture. So it's just Tyler and his mother, and Tyler is forced to go to a new school. Man, what a stressful situation that must be. So Tyler goes to the new school, and it seems welcoming at first. This is where Tyler meets one of the two friends he'll become friendly with in the school.
Tyler?
Yeah.
I'm Paige. I'm supposed to show you around.
He first meets Paige Thomas, who is played by Catherine McNamara. I believe I might be pronouncing that wrong as well, I do apologise. And she seems wholesome. She seems to be very high up in the school politically. Seems to be one of the top students in the school. So that's why she was assigned to show Tyler around the school. And after she shows him around, she starts off by giving him his phone number.
I know what it's like to be new and all alone. If you have any questions or if you need anything, just call me, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
So she's already trying to hook up with Tyler from what it seems like. So we're already off to a good start. And then Tyler meets the security guard, Mr. Stevenson. He's played by Anthony Michael Hall.
Oh, sorry about that.
I'm Tyler. I just moved here. And this girl, Paige, just showed me around. She mentioned who you were.
Yeah, I know Paige. She's one of our best students. Keep her close. She's a great person to know. Well, look, I hope you like it here.
We'll see. I mean, thanks. I do too.
That was nice meeting you.
It's nice meeting you.
Okay.
I'll see you.
All right.
And I'm just going to say this right now. Mr. Stevenson is a wonderful character. He's very well written. Since Tyler no longer has his father in his life, Mr. Stevenson kind of plays that father figure role to Tyler, which we'll get more into later. So after that, Tyler goes home, he falls asleep for the night, and he seems to have a bit of a nightmare about what happened in his past. This is where we actually get to see Tyler's dad, and it looks like they're both having a heated argument. And the argument ends with them leaving, and his dad taking out his frustrations, seems very upset. And it just seems like Tyler, when he was younger, had to witness all of this. So Tyler's parents did not seem to get along very well, from what it looks like. So Tyler heads into class for the first time the next day, and it already starts off wonderful. He walks into class having a look around, and then the high school bully, Matt, comes in and knocks his drink to the ground, already making Tyler look like an ass in front of the class already. And this is where we hear about Derek.
Before we get started, I'm sure you've all heard the devastating news about Derek. He passed away this morning at the hospital. He was a fun-loving and caring young man with a lot of heart, and his death is a tragic loss for all of us. Let's take a moment of silence, please.
We still don't hear what exactly happened to Derek. They don't mention what his cause of death was, or anything, so we don't know who shot him, or what happened, but more will be revealed later on. So Tyler goes into the cafeteria, he's by himself. This is where we get introduced to Tyler's second friend, that he will soon meet, Indrid Weldon, who is played by Ryan Munzert, and he is the polar opposite of what Paige is like. Whereas Paige seems to be the most upbeat and all positive and very kind and all that, Indrid, he's not so much. He seems very embittered with life, and we'll touch more on this later, but you'll soon see the polar opposites between these two. This is where Tyler first meets Indrid for the first time. Tyler is sitting up in the stands while the students are playing their sports, and then Matt, being the dickhead that he is, decides, you know what, let me throw the ball at his head and see how funny it is. That's when Indrid proceeds to step in and grab the ball before it hits Tyler, already establishing that friendship, and he proceeds to throw the ball back at Matt. So it seems like Indrid has motivation to help Tyler because he doesn't seem to have very fond feelings of Matt, which I don't blame him, to be honest. And that's when our two friends meet, and the conversation starts off fairly wholesome. They both introduce each other and they're making jokes about their names.
I'm Indrid.
Indrid. What kind of an odd name is that?
And you are?
Tyler.
Tyler. What kind of an ordinary name is that?
It's nice to meet you.
But then we get some of Indrid's dark feelings. He proceeds to shit-talk the security officer, Mr. Stevenson.
I haven't been to too many schools that have their own police force.
Mr. Stevenson's a joke.
Which confuses Tyler, because the guy seemed like a very nice man to him. This is where Indrid starts to plug his misinformation into Tyler's head. And it only gets worse from there. So Indrid's friends pull up and they're asking him to come with them. From what it seems like, Indrid is skipping school with his friends. So Indrid seems to have a very rebellious side to him, whereas Tyler just stays at school. So I would say this is a very well done introduction, to be honest. It establishes the dynamics of the school. It establishes the dynamics between the different people that we will soon be interacting with. We have Paige, who is obviously the hard-working student, who is also upbeat and positive. And we have Indrid, the embedded student, who has dealt with a lot of stuff in his life and does see things in a very positive light. And of course Tyler, he's just navigating a new school. And honestly, I find this very relatable, especially if you're someone who did go to a new school and you're having to meet new people. It's very relatable in that sense. You're trying to navigate what kind of people you're going to be dealing with, and you really don't know what to expect. Tyler's only got two people that he can really get a grasp on, and that's Paige and Indrid. So I would say they did this introduction really well. But that's just the introduction of this film. What happens next? So Tyler heads back to school, and he reconnects with Paige once again. Now this is where Paige does something that I really don't think was a good idea at all. She takes Matt's book off of his desk and he shoves it back to him and basically tells him, yeah, you're not sitting here. Basically making him look like a ding-dong in front of the class. Now normally I'll be all for bullies being shown how it is, but it's the person who's going to be taking Matt's seat, which is Tyler. Now this is where Paige made a big mistake. You see, Matt is Paige's ex, and when Matt sees that the guy who he has been picking on is getting with his ex, that's when a target has been put on Tyler's back. We shall soon see this unfold later. Tyler heads to the cafeteria, and he is joined by Indrid. He makes a casual joke about Tyler having to watch out for balls being thrown in his face.
Keeping the balls out of your face today?
Oh, right, yeah. Haven't had any issues with that today.
Good, because I'm not grabbing any more for you. Come on, let's eat.
They proceed to go sit at a table with Indrid's other friends. They introduce each other, and then Indrid asks his friend Wes how life is living on the edge. His friend Wes talks about driving his car with his girlfriend at 120 kilometers an hour, which is obviously very dangerous. And then Indrid makes a dark joke about his luck running out, which kind of makes the whole group go awkwardly silent. Clearly they didn't like hearing that, but oh well. Guess that's Indrid's dark humor again. That's when Tyler heads to Indrid's house. Tyler goes into Indrid's house, and he sees a cabinet full of guns. And that's when he's reminded about what happened with Derek. He proceeds to ask Indrid if he knew Derek, and Indrid says no. Remember that one, because that's important. Tyler then asks Indrid, wasn't he killed in a hunting accident? Which is interesting that he says accident, because from what we saw, it did not look like an accident at all. It looked like he was shot by somebody. So it's very, very odd. That's when Indrid makes another dark joke.
Well, I guess his colors just weren't bright enough.
I feel like this scene right here just shows how numb Indrid is to dark things. The fact that he can just make jokes like that and not give two flying fucks about it, it kind of just shows how numb he is. You shall soon see more of this later. Tyler has a look around Indrid's room, and he sees a picture of Indrid with a girl. Tyler asks if it is his girlfriend.
Girlfriend?
No, not anymore.
What happened?
Nothing good ever lasts, Ty.
So clearly something happened between Indrid and this girl for them to have a breakup. That's when Indrid asks Tyler what his parents do for a living. This is where Tyler opens up about the fact that his dad is not there anymore, displaying a level of vulnerability, the fact that Tyler is willing to tell Indrid that, someone who he only just met. Tyler then asks what his parents do. Apparently Indrid's parents have very lucrative jobs, but because of that, they hardly ever see them, and that's when Indrid says this.
To be completely honest, I've written them off.
What do you mean?
Parents have a responsibility to be there for their kids, right?
Yeah.
Well, obviously mine have forgotten about me, so just returning the favor. So fuck them.
Now we don't know if Indrid and his sister are still living with their parents. You don't see Indrid's parents at all this movie. So who knows what the story behind that is. So Paige goes to her locker and just acts like normal. And then she's greeted by Matt, who has not very nice things to say to her at all.
An asshole the other day in class?
Yeah, well, that's what you are, so you shouldn't be too surprised.
Well, good luck trying to find someone willing to put up with your stupid shit. Maybe if you would grow up and stop acting like a child, someone would actually want to be with you. Oh. Don't cry, okay? No one's around to care.
So, yeah, Matt is not a very good person whatsoever. Paige, hearing all this, becomes very upset, and she heads outside and cries to herself, That's when Tyler comes around, and Tyler proceeds to comfort her.
Some people never change.
I'm just stupid.
No, you're not. Don't say that. One day, you will find someone who will treat you the way you deserve to be treated.
So yeah, I think it's safe to say Tyler knows how to treat a girl, whereas Matt doesn't. I think that's a safe thing to say. That's when Indrid shows up.
Hi, Indrid.
So... taking a break from tutoring the borderline failures at the library, are we?
So it seems like Indrid is not a fan of Paige either, which is unfortunately going to be a problem because Tyler is friends with both of them, so it's going to cause a bit of a rift between them, and we'll see this unfold later. So Tyler heads home, he's opening the fridge to get a drink, then he hears a voicemail that concerns him greatly.
Hello, Miss Evans. This is Beverly from Dr. Martin's office. I'm calling to make sure that you were aware that your interview was today at 4 p.m. I apologize if there was a misunderstanding. Please call us back to reschedule. Thank you.
So it appears that his mum seems to have forgotten that she had an interview booked, and this obviously frustrates Tyler because Tyler, as we've seen from the first scene, really wants his mum to recover from her alcoholism, and this is a big sign that she just isn't. Tyler will have some choice words to say to his mother later on. He then goes to have a nap, and that's when he's woken up by Indrid at the door. So Indrid and Tyler head out to a party. There seems to be a party going on at a student's house, presumably Matt's house, as we'll soon see later on. Indrid and Tyler head to the porch, and they start getting drinks. That's when Paige shows up. Paige tries to greet Indrid kindly, but that's when Indrid responds with this.
Hi, Indrid.
So yeah, there still seems to be some tension. That's when Indrid leaves to go piss. Then Paige and Tyler start talking to each other, and then that's where Matt shows up. Matt proceeds to make fun of the two of them for hanging out together.
Well. Isn't this cute?
Matt, please, this is not the place.
Oh yeah? Okay, well then what is the place? What is the right place? Huh? What the hell are you doing here?
Matt, stop.
And that's when the both of them attempt to leave. That's when Matt smacks the drinks out of Tyler's hands in a fit of rage.
What the hell's your problem, dude?
You're my problem.
Matt, stop it, please.
Matt is now screwing up for a full-on fight. Matt proceeds to throw punches at Tyler, knocking him to the ground. But before he could do any more to him, that's when Indrid shows up and grabs Matt and throws him across the table. Matt's friend tries to step in, but Indrid proceeds to push his friend off the porch. That's when Tyler and Indrid make a narrow escape. This goes back to the scene I told you about before. I knew Paige flaunting Tyler in front of Matt would have been an awful idea, and I was fucking right. I knew he was going to go after Tyler for that. So, you know what, Paige, take this as a cautionary tale. Don't flaunt people in front of Matt, because it's not going to work out well. Anyway, back to Indrid. I have a different perspective on Indrid's actions here. Although it may seem like Indrid is trying to help out his friend from being attacked by a psycho, I don't think so. I think Indrid's doing it for a different reason. I think Indrid is trying to earn Tyler's trust. I don't think Indrid's trying to do it because he cares about Tyler, because Indrid's actions later on will show that he doesn't actually care about Tyler. You'll see what I mean later on, and I feel like it's also partly motivated by the fact that Indrid doesn't like Matt either. I personally feel that Indrid is just doing this to gain Tyler's trust, not because he actually sees him as a friend. Because if Indrid actually saw Tyler as a friend, he wouldn't do what he does next, so brace yourselves. Indrid heads home. He seems to be working on something at his desk. He seems like he's having trouble concentrating because there's music blaring off from his sister's room. He messes up what he's doing, then he proceeds to go into his sister's room.
Indrid, what the hell? Get out of my room now!
Tasteless shit off.
You got a lot of nerve, dude.
I'm not a dude.
Okay, smartass.
Can you ever just keep your mouth shut for once? You always just gotta put in your 2 cents, don't you?
You talk big for such a little guy, you know that?
And what are you gonna do about
Okay,
it?
that's enough! The both of you! Indrid, get out of here! Get out!
He's taking out his frustration on his sister's boyfriend, but before anything escalates, Indrid leaves the room. Indrid sits back at his desk and proceeds to continue working on what he was working on, and we soon see it's a gun. Now this is where I feel like a lot of viewers will start to think differently about Indrid. I mean, I sure hope you would think differently about him now, because if you don't think differently about him now, I don't know what to tell you, because a minor playing with a gun is not good whatsoever. He proceeds to practice using the pistol by firing it without it being loaded. Clearly Indrid is squaring up for something, but we don't know what. But we'll soon find out what this is all about. I feel like this scene also establishes the dynamic between Indrid and his sister. Indrid clearly seems to have no care for his sister at all, since he's willing to barge into her room and invade her and her boyfriend's privacy. So clearly Indrid doesn't respect his sister at all, which honestly doesn't surprise me considering the kind of person he is. But yeah, this scene right here is where we should be really concerned. So Indrid and Tyler head into school the next day like everything is normal, but that's when Matt shows up and proceeds to attack Indrid. He knocks Indrid to the ground and gets him into a chokehold. That's when Tyler attempts to get Matt off of Indrid, obviously displaying that Tyler sees Indrid as a friend now if he's willing to step in and help Indrid against Matt. A guy who Tyler clearly doesn't stand a chance against, but he's still willing to risk himself for Indrid. But before Tyler can do anything, Matt's friend comes in the way and stops him from doing anything. Matt proceeds to choke Indrid and continuously choke him in front of everyone until the security officer shows up and breaks up the fight. But before the security officer can ask Indrid what happened, Indrid leaves. Everyone in the hallway scatters, and Mr. Stevenson proceeds to ask Tyler what happened. Tyler heads into Stevenson's office, and Stevenson takes a report from Tyler about what happened. That's when Tyler asks if he's always done school security. That's when we learn a lot about Mr. Stevenson.
No, not always. I used to be a cop, actually.
So how did you end up doing this?
Well, I quit the force a while back. At the time, it seemed like the best thing to do. My wife hated it anyway.
Why'd you quit?
Just had a close call one night when I was out patrolling alone.
Close call? I'm sorry, that's none of my business.
No, it's okay, don't worry about it. It's been a long time since I talked about it, that's all. It's a, home invasion. Guy was attacking a woman. He had a young daughter. He had a gun. I tried my best to talk some sense into him, you know? But, things deteriorate pretty quickly, you know?
What happened?
People got hurt.
From what it sounds like, an incident went horribly wrong, and it seems like people got hurt. But we don't know who got hurt, but we'll soon find out later who it was. All I can say about this scene is Tyler is mad respectful. Even when he feels like he's prying, he even tells him, sorry, that's not my business. Just shows you how much respect Tyler has for people compared to other people. Meanwhile, Indrid has gone to class. He seems to be in the science class, and that's when they're watching a presentation. The presentation seems to be talking about what the title of the movie is, natural selection, saying that evolution is natural selection. And that's when the teacher asks what the students' thoughts on it are. Indrid makes a snarky laugh when a student asks a question about it. And that's when Indrid is put on the spot, asking him what he thought about it. And that's when he says this.
Fact, evolution, and natural selection are facts.
Can you explain?
The stronger traits of living organisms will ensure its survival through the generations, while the weaker ones will be bred out over time. It's simple. It's the world's way of perfecting itself. Survival of the fittest. It's why we're here today. If you're alive, it's because something has decided for you to be alive.
Like God.
God has nothing to do with it.
This scene right here is very ominous about how Indrid feels about things. And unfortunately, I hate to say it, but everything that Indrid said here was right. Like, It really is survival of the fittest. There is a reason we as humans are all here. And no, it's not God. There is a reason why we are here. Every single one of us. I'm saying that to everyone who's watching right now as well. All of you have a reason to be here. If you had no reason to be here, you wouldn't be alive. And I mean this to everyone that's watching. And what's sad about this is that Indrid doesn't see this the same way he described it. Indrid thinks he's there for another reason. A very ominous and dark reason he thinks he's there for. Anyway, moving on. Tyler is at home and he's working on a drawing. That's when his mother comes in and tells him that she's done grocery shopping. Tyler makes a very sarcastic congratulations to her, and that's when he proceeds to continue drawing. His mother asks what he's drawing. He doesn't respond to it, but then his mother says he bought him candy canes, and that's when Tyler responds with this.
Why didn't you go to your interview the other day?
Tyler,
No, I really don't want to hear any more excuses. How many other interviews have you missed?
Tyler, I just forgot.
Yeah, you forgot. Of course you forgot. You're always forgetting something. Or maybe you just got another migraine. Maybe that's why.
Tyler, why are you always attacking me?
Why am I? Are you kidding? When are you ever gonna get it together? I'm 17 years old, for Christ's sake, and I'm the one taking care of you. Hello, what is wrong with this picture?
I know I'm difficult, but I'm trying. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm trying.
If this is you trying, I don't even want to know what you not trying is like. Don't you want to do something with your life?
Of course.
Then do it. By the way, I don't even like candy cakes.
This scene right here shows how little patience Tyler has for his mother now. It seems like Tyler has been dealing with this from his mother his whole life, and he's just lost all of his patience for her. Tyler genuinely wants his mother to improve, but she seems to lack that person in her life that will completely push her to actually fix her life, and Tyler seems to be playing that role. Tyler is the one who's actively pushing her to fix her life. Her fucking 17-year-old son. And that just shows the level of maturity Tyler has. The fact that he knows his mother needs someone in her life to be pushing her to get better. Since Tyler's dad's gone, who else is going to do it? And I think it's such a good thing that Tyler cares this much, and he's willing to do that. Because most people in this situation would just let sleeping dogs lie. I'm glad he's someone who refuses to just sit there and let it happen. And as we can see, Tyler has lost all patience for her, and that's why hearing that voicemail of her missing an interview really set him off. The next day, Tyler and Indrid seem to be in the middle of the forest on a park bench, and that's when Tyler asks Indrid what he thinks love is. That's when we get probably one of my favourite scenes in this whole movie. I don't know why, but this explanation from Indrid just gives me a chuckle every time I watch it.
Do you think it's crazy to fall in love?
Romeo and Juliet fell in love. That ended well, didn't it? But drugs are quick. That's with a kiss. I die. Love. Love is supposedly the whole driving force behind everything that makes humans human. Yeah? Without love, then what? What would people do with themselves? My parents. They were once supposedly in love. Now they can't even stand to look at each other.
It has to take some work. Maybe it's not as easy as it seems.
When you get married, you swear an oath, right? Till death do us part, I do solemnly swear, blah, 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 bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. And then, a few years after, it's over. I mean, if you swear to something like that, and then soon after it's over, it's meaningless. If love fails, the one true good thing that exists in this world, if that fails, what else is there to keep you from falling apart? Love can't save us, Ty.
So, yeah, another one of Indrid's interesting outlooks on life. And he believes that love cannot save people. And I disagree with that. Love is a very important thing in humanity. Because if there was no love in this world, we would all be monsters. And the fact that Indrid doesn't feel love for anybody anymore, that's where we get people like him. And you'll soon see what I mean. And that's part of the reason why I'm making this video. because mental decay can really hurt people. People who are just mentally unchecked and don't receive any love in their life, it can have dangerous consequences. And Indrid is going to be such a perfect example of this, and you'll soon see later on. I keep saying you shall soon see later on way too much in this video. Take a shot every time I say that, because I'm going to be saying that a lot. I do apologise for that if it's getting annoying. I can't help it, that's just how I talk. Indrid heads back into school. He is walking down the hallway carrying a very suspicious bag. That's when his friend comes up to him and tells us something has happened to Samantha. That's when Indrid says he'll come down in a second. He says he's got to take care of something, presumably what he's got in his bag. His friend asks what he's got in the bag. Indrid just says he's cleaning out his locker, and he proceeds to walk away. But again, the way Indrid's walking, it seems like he's hiding something. Like, why does he look so protective over that bag? It will soon be revealed later on what this is. That's when Tyler and Indrid come and see Samantha, and Samantha is in tears. That's when Indrid's friend Brian comes up. That's when Indrid asks Brian what happened. Apparently Wes was speeding in his car, and he crashed through a guardrail and crashed his car into the woods, landing himself in hospital. And obviously Samantha, being Wes's boyfriend, she's in tears over this, and Indrid gives her a very ominous look. Doesn't seem like a look of grief, it seems like a look of I told you so. And when Tyler confronts him about this is what Indrid says.
This was bound to happen at some point. If you do stupid shit is bound to happen to you.
Jeez, Indrid. You could maybe be a little more sensitive.
Sensitive? Sure, I can be sensitive. I should have gone right up to Sammy and told her how sorry I was that her boyfriend didn't have the brain capacity needed to make intelligent decisions. I mean, the pieces were laid out for everyone to see. I don't get why everyone's so shocked about what happened. Wes knew exactly what he was getting himself into, but he didn't listen to anyone. And that was his choice.
So yeah, very little sympathy about the fact that his friend has been in a car accident. He doesn't seem to care at all. He's acting like he's had his I told you so moment, which is another sign of how Indrid is, because, like, yeah, I thought the same thing too. Wes speeding his car like that was going to be very dangerous. But I don't want Wes to crash his car just to prove my point. That's horrible. I wouldn't want that. And that's basically what Indrid's doing right here. He's basically like, yeah, I told you so. Ha 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 ha. Just shows you how much of a terrible person Indrid can be. He was hoping for something like this to happen just so he could prove his point. He's looking for the I told you so moment, because he wants to seem like the smartest person in the room. It really does give way to his narcissism. Tyler and Indrid are on the football stands. That's when Indrid asks Tyler if he wants to come to his place. And that's when Tyler says no. Instead, Tyler insists on going to the school dance. And that's when Indrid proceeds to mock him. And that's when Tyler responds that yes, he is going to the dance. That's when Indrid asks him if he's going because Paige is going. And Tyler says that she will be there. And that's when Indrid says this to Tyler.
You ever think she might be using you?
Using me? For what?
A shoulder to cry on? I mean, she started talking to you right after she broke up with Matt. You know that, right? That's what girls do, Ty. I mean, in order to get their minds off their exes, they look for rebounds. And I see her and Matt together all the time.
Are you serious?
I wouldn't lie to you.
This speech from Indrid right here, pure projection right here. Pure projection. Everything he described about Paige here is 1, completely false about Paige, and 2, this is the exact thing that Indrid has been doing to Tyler. Indrid is the one taking advantage of Tyler. I know we've seen small samples of this so far, but the worst of Indrid's manipulation is yet to come, and we shall soon see this. Indrid is basically doing the smelt it dealt it scenario. He's trying to act like he's not the one doing it, even though he's the one calling out the thing, so he's probably the one who's doing it. And that's exactly what it is. Because Indrid is the one who manipulates people, not Paige in the slightest. The only wrong thing you could tell me that Paige has probably done is when he flaunted Tyler in front of Matt. That's probably the only bad thing Paige has done, whereas Indrid has done many heinous things. And unfortunately, all the things that Indrid has done are not yet apparent to Tyler, because obviously Tyler's only just met him, but Tyler will soon find out a lot of things that Indrid has done, and he'll soon see how much he's being gaslit by Indrid. So Paige is at the high school dance, and she seems upset. She doesn't seem like she's enjoying herself, and she keeps looking around. It seems like she's expecting somebody. Her friends keep asking her to go dance with them, but she refuses to. But then that's when Tyler shows up. That's when Paige's face lights up like a Christmas tree. The very thing she's been hoping to happen has happened. That's when Paige goes over to him, and that's when Paige notices he hasn't got his tie on. Tyler says he doesn't know how to put a tie on, and that's when Paige puts the tie on for him. It's a very wholesome moment between the two of them. They begin to compliment each other, and then that's when a new song comes up. That's when the two of them proceed to dance together. This scene right here, very romantic. I think Tyler made the right decision here, going to the dance instead of going to Indrid's house, because Tyler needs this. He does not need what Indrid is doing. The next day, Indrid goes to the locker room after sports day. He seems to be trying to open up his locker, but he can't seem to do it. That's when his sister's boyfriend, Steve, starts to egg him on. They have some choice words to exchange between each other. That's when they start to have a fight, and then that's when the coach comes in and breaks up the fight. Indrid is sent to Mrs. Stevenson's office. Mrs. Stevenson asks him what happened, but Indrid doesn't answer him. Indrid says other things to change the subject, which is again another very narcissistic trait of his, not taking accountability. Instead, what Indrid does is he proceeds to make fun of Mrs. Stevenson, basically saying that he doesn't care about his job and all that stuff. That's when Mrs. Stevenson offers to set him up with a guidance counsellor, and Indrid doesn't take this very kindly. That's when Indrid proceeds to bring up Mrs. Stevenson's past. This is where we learn what actually happened in Mrs. Stevenson's past, and it's quite a harrowing story.
I know about you. You used to be a cop. You were wounded on the job. You were shot, weren't you?
You don't know anything about me or my past.
I know that you tried to be a hero once and that didn't work out too well.
You're out of line right now, young man.
Taylor Reeves was my friend. Name ring a bell? She'd be a senior now, just like me. She was the one person that made me feel like I wasn't worthless. She had dreams and aspirations, but I guess she didn't make it this far, did she?
You got some nerve talking about something you know nothing about.
I know, because I was there. I lived 2 houses down. I remember that night. I remember that night vividly. You couldn't save her. You couldn't save anyone that night. So what makes you think you can help anyone now?
This is, again, another one of Indrid's deplorable acts. He's bringing up a traumatic event in Mrs. Stevenson's life just to get back at him. In Indrid's mind, he thinks it's Mrs. Stevenson's fault that his friend Taylor was killed. And honestly, that's not very fair on Mrs. Stevenson. I just think Mrs. Stevenson made a mistake. Being a police officer is a very hard thing to be. Like, police officers are going to make mistakes a lot in their lives. And because he made one mistake where he was hesitant to pull the trigger on somebody, and that somebody killed one of his friends, like, it's a genuine mistake of Mrs. Stevenson. And as Mrs. Stevenson says...
People make mistakes, Indrid. Everyone makes mistakes.
And he is right. Everyone makes mistakes. But that's when Indrid says this.
But not everyone pays for them.
Basically, Indrid is implying that Mrs. Stevenson is going to pay for this. And as you can see in Mrs. Stevenson's eyes, Mrs. Stevenson doesn't seem to like what he said right there. And this right here is where I feel like Mr. Stevenson probably should have contacted the authorities. Although he may not have noticed it at the time, but what he said right there was a direct threat at him, and he will soon find out that it was. And again, it just shows that Indrid just lacks a lot of empathy. In his mind, he thinks everyone's just letting him down, and he seems to think that everyone's out to get him or something. And it's just not true. And this right here is a prime example of how Indrid thinks. He thinks Mr. Stevenson should bear the burden his entire life about the fact that he made a mistake on his policing duty, and it's just fucking wrong. It's disgusting. It's disgusting the way he thinks. Like, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of things law enforcement does in the real world that are absolutely horrifying, but the situation that happened with Mr. Stevenson isn't one of them. It was the exact opposite, where he wasn't trying to be trigger happy. Which, honestly, I feel like is what we need more of, cops that aren't as trigger happy, because it causes a lot of issues in this world. Believe me, I'm sure many of you people who live in the US know about that one. So the way Indrid's talking to Mrs. Stevenson here, absolutely unacceptable. So Indrid goes home, he's just minding his own business watching TV, and that's when his sister barges into the room.
What the hell happened with you and Steve?
Get out of my room.
Why do you always have to start shit?
I started shit. You're kidding, right?
Why can't you just stay out of my life, Indrid?
I don't care about your life. Are we finished here?
You know what? You bitch, and you moan about how other people can't keep their mouths shut, but from the looks of it, you can't either.
Sometimes people just need to be put in their place.
So what gives you the right to put anyone in their place? You're just like everybody else. And if anyone needs to be put in their place, it's you.
In Indrid's defense, it was Steve who started the fight, because he threw his shoe at Indrid first. So technically, Steve was the one who started the fight. But honestly, Steve is kind of justified with it, to be honest, because of the way Indrid treats Steve anyway. That's when his sister proceeds to make fun of Indrid for getting his ass kicked by Matt the other day. And that's when Indrid freaks out and says this to his sister.
You know what your problem is? And the whole world's problem is?
What, Indrid? Enlighten
Judge
me.
people by their size and not by what they're capable of.
And what could you possibly be capable of?
You have no fucking idea. Get out! Out! Go!
Absolutely psycho. Like, this kid needs to be put in a psych ward. He's just insane. He's out of his mind. And there's no parental authority in his life to keep him in check. As he said, his parents are never around because they're so busy. But I feel like this is where the parents should really be stepping in and doing something for him. Because nobody is stepping in this kid's way and keeping him in check. It's fucking sick. And this goes back to the whole argument that happened earlier. Love is very important because when people are not showing love in their lives, you get people like Indrid who become very embittered and hateful. Love is an important thing for humans to give to each other, because otherwise we create monsters like Indrid. And I'm going to touch on this topic again later, because it's a very important thing, and it's part of the reason why I'm making this video in the first place, because I feel like the messaging behind this movie is very important. So this is where Indrid does probably the most irredeemable act in the entire movie I can describe to you right now. I mean, obviously the final bit is the most deplorable act, but this one, what he does here, is probably even more soul-destroying than what he does in the final scene. And you'll see what I mean. So Tyler wakes up to Indrid being at his door. Indrid asks Tyler if he's ready for school. Tyler doesn't sound like he's in the mood for school at all. That's when Tyler goes to his room to get ready, and Indrid has a look in Tyler's fridge. He makes a comment about the fact that they don't seem to go grocery shopping at all. That's when Indrid sees a sticky note on the fridge. It's a note from Tyler's mother. Tyler's mother is saying happy birthday to him, and saying she's going to take him out to dinner. Which is lovely, because it means his mother didn't forget his birthday. And yeah, in case it wasn't obvious, today is Tyler's birthday. But this is when Indrid does something that is irredeemable. He takes the note off the fridge. Yep, he takes it away. So now Tyler goes to the fridge. He doesn't see the note. So he goes to school thinking that his mother has completely forgotten about his birthday. Like, what kind of a friend is this? This part genuinely makes me angry. Why would you want your friend to think that his mother has forgotten his birthday? What kind of a friend are you, Indrid? I'm talking to you. What kind of friend do you think you are? Because that's not the right thing to be doing at all. And I'm sorry, but this scene right here pisses me the fuck off. I'm sure you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, Jesse, what's the big deal about this? He just took a note off the fridge, and Tyler thinks his mother forgot his birthday. Oh, big deal. Oh, trust me, this little thing right here is going to have a dangerous, absolutely horrifying effect on Tyler and his mother. And you're soon going to see this unfold. So yeah, goes without saying, Indrid, go to hell for this one. Holy shit, bro. That's when Tyler and Indrid go to school. Tyler and Indrid are staying with Indrid's friends, talking about Wes, and asking if Wes is still at the hospital yet. It doesn't sound like he's doing okay. That's when Indrid asks for his lighter. So he gives Indrid his lighter. That's when Indrid puts a cupcake on the table with a candle on it. And that's when he tells Tyler, happy birthday, and he's basically celebrating Tyler's birthday. Sorry, this is genuinely frustrating. Indrid has basically pulled what I like to call the Captain Quark effect. Anyone who's played the Ratchet & Clank games will know exactly what I'm referring to when I say the Quark effect. But, for those who haven't, let me explain the Captain Quark effect to you. The Captain Quark effect is someone taking advantage, making something bad happen, or manipulating a story just so they can come out on top and seem like the good guy, only to steal the credit from the person who actually deserves the credit in the end. And that, right there, is the Captain Quark effect that I just described to you. And that's exactly what Indrid did here. Indrid pulled the Captain Quark effect. It was Tyler's mother who remembered his birthday first and left a note on the fridge. But what Indrid did, Indrid took the note, and Indrid got Tyler the cupcake and made it seem like he was the one who remembered Tyler's birthday first, stealing the credit from his mother. Like, that suits the term that I just described to you in a nutshell. That's literally what Indrid does here. This should just show you how much of a manipulative fuck Indrid is. The fact that he's willing to do this to his supposed friend. Like, it's fucking sick. Like, why? I don't understand the point of this. And this is another one of Indrid's attempts to gain Tyler's trust. He's trying to poison him against his mother to try and gain his trust. Being like, hey, even though your mother forgot your birthday, I remembered your birthday. You can trust me, right? Like, it's again another one of his tactics to earn Tyler's trust. And it's all going to come together here. It's all going to come together. Later that day, Tyler is in the computer lab. He seems like he's typing out a report. The report seems to be about leader or follower, which is interesting when we think about the movie that we're watching here. That's when Tyler looks at a kid who is smacking his computer monitor, probably because it's not working properly. It reminds Tyler about the whole Derek thing, and he remembered how Indrid said that he didn't know Derek. That's when Tyler goes digging on the internet. That's when he comes across an article showing a picture of Derek with a bunch of people, but that's when Tyler notices something. We don't exactly fully see who he's looking at in the picture, but if I had to gather what he's looking at, that person on the far right corner of the picture is Indrid. Yep, Indrid lied. Indrid did know Derek. And when we tie up everything we know about him, the fact that he's got a gun cabinet and he messes around with guns, and Derek was shot, it's all adding up. It is all adding up. Tyler doesn't tie these things together yet because he's interrupted by Paige asking a question.
Shouldn't you be doing actual work? I was hoping I'd catch you before I left.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, you know, we have that big test coming up next week. Would you like to study together?
Yeah, well, when were you thinking?
Are you busy tomorrow after school?
Tomorrow's perfect.
Okay, can we meet at my table?
Absolutely.
Tyler, do you have any plans tonight?
So Tyler and Paige head to Paige's house, and that's when Tyler has a look around her room. That's when Paige motions him to come sit on the bed next to her. That's when Paige asks Tyler what his future is going to be. That's when Tyler talks about the fact that he's never had time to focus on himself, because he's always had to worry about what his mother has been doing. He's always had to look after his mother, so he's never had time to focus on himself at all. That's when Tyler says he wished he could be seen for once. And that's when Paige grabs him and says,
I see you.
That's when the two of them kiss together. And yeah, seems like Paige has finally made her move on Tyler. I'm sure we all saw this coming from a mile away. That's when Tyler and Paige head back to Tyler's house. And that's when we see the results of Indrid's stunt from earlier unfolding. You see, his mother left a note on the fridge, so Tyler knew that his mother was going to take him out to dinner. But Tyler didn't actually come home for dinner. He went over to Paige's house. And because the note is missing from the fridge, because Indrid took it, Tyler's mother is thinking that Tyler just ignored her. That's what his mother takes away from that. The fact that Tyler's not home after she left that note for him, she just thinks Tyler didn't care. And because of that, Tyler's mother is feeling absolutely horrible about it. And because she's an alcoholic, what does she do? She goes back into her old ways of drinking to get rid of the emotional pain. And this is exactly what I was talking about. This is the shit that Indrid has caused. Because if that note was left in the fridge, Tyler would have went out to dinner with his mother, and his mother wouldn't have had an emotional spiral over it. So instead what happens is Tyler comes home, and he sees the vodka bottle on the bench. He immediately drains it, and that's when Tyler goes into his mother's room to see his mother, completely drunk and out of her mind.
You gotta be kidding me.
No, Tyler, please. I just can't. I can't.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Tyler, please. I can't.
Yeah, what? Huh?
I can't.
After all this, we're here again. We're back here again.
I know. I know. I am sorry.
Don't say it. Don't say it! Don't you say you're sorry, because I know you're not. Your words are hollow.
Tyler, just leave me alone.
So what? So you can sit there and drown yourself in regret?
Just stop, Tyler. Stop it. Stop it. You seem to be doing just fine on your own. You know, all I ever did was hold you back. Me, you don't need me, you see.
Is this what you want? Is this what you want, to be like this? You think this is gonna change anything? Has it changed anything? I really thought things were gonna be different this time around. There was a moment when I actually thought you were gonna pull through, and we were finally gonna make it past all this together.
Oh, just leave. Just leave. Just, your father didn't.
Dad left because he didn't want to accept the responsibilities of being a parent. He was a fucking coward.
He was not.
All I ever did was take care of you. You got some nerve comparing me to him.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, baby.
No, you're not. Today's my birthday. You remember that? You want to know what I wish for, Mom?
I was gonna.
You want to know what I wish for?
What?
I wish for you, Mom. For us. And that we would finally make it together. Happy birthday to me.
Tyler. Tyler.
Tyler.
This scene right here, it's so fucking sad. And it didn't have to be this way if Indrid just didn't be a fucking arsehole. Like, Tyler's mother remembered his birthday, but because Indrid was more focused on trying to make himself look good, he made Tyler believe that his own mother forgot his birthday. And of course Tyler is just thinking that his mother forgot his birthday, so it obviously doesn't help Tyler out at all. And again, I'm gonna say this, Indrid is a real piece of shit for what he did. Actions have consequences. It doesn't matter how little it may seem. It may seem insignificant removing a sticky note from a fucking fridge, but as you saw, it created a ripple effect. And it's all because Indrid wanted to take all the credit for himself. So Tyler takes the remaining vodka bottle out of her mother's room and takes it outside and smashes it on the ground and starts crying. That's when Paige comes into his mother's room and tries to help her tidy up the mess. That's when Paige comes across an article, presumably about Tyler's dad. That's when Paige realizes what she's dealing with here. That's when Paige goes back outside and comforts Tyler. This scene is so fucking sad, dude. It really shows actions have consequences. And this may seem doom and gloom now, but don't worry. Tyler is soon gonna find out. Tyler is soon gonna find out how much he has been gaslit. Don't worry, that is coming. So the next day, Tyler heads into the theatre room at his school. That's when he's told by Mr. Stevenson he's not allowed down here. And when Tyler says he's gonna leave, Mr. Stevenson tells him to stay. That's when they begin talking to each other. And this is where we get probably one of the best scenes in the movie, if you ask me.
I just needed to get away for a little.
What's on your mind, girls?
Is it that obvious?
Well, if there's someone in your life that makes you a better person, don't let go. We gotta fight for what we believe in, right?
I'm so tired of fighting.
We're challenged every day in life, Tyler. But it's the challenges that shape us. And how we carry ourselves in times of adversity really defines who we are, yeah?
That man, when you were a cop, did you stop him?
Yes. He shot first. I had no choice.
What happened to the mother and daughter?
They were caught in between. I was always told that Their wounds didn't come from my gun, but I could never stop thinking that they did. Something I carry around with me every day. I feel it. It's like a knot in your stomach. I can't undo it. I see so many people in pain, and I just can't block the thought that I can't help them.
That hasn't stopped you from trying, has it? Then there's still some fight left in you.
And in you.
This scene is so impactful. This is what I said earlier about Mr. Stevenson basically acting like Tyler's father figure. He talks about all the struggles that you would deal with in life, and you move forward from them. And Mr. Stevenson obviously is showing a little vulnerability because he's opening up about what happened that night. And obviously he talks about the fact that he feels guilt, and he feels like the blood is on his hands for the people that died in that fight. And this is what I said about Indrid before, how Indrid is a fucking arsehole for this. Like, Mr. Stevenson feels real guilt from this, and he basically has Indrid telling him that he's gonna pay for it. Like, to Indrid, is suffering with the burden of the fact that you failed to save somebody's life, are those feelings of guilt not enough for him? Like, why does he have to suffer more? And I'm not saying he should be suffering with that either, because it wasn't Mr. Stevenson's fault that those people were dead. It was the murderer's fault. But seriously, to Indrid, is he not suffering enough from it? But I'm trying to understand the mind of a crazy kid. So what did I expect from that? And yeah, this is what I mean. Mr. Stevenson is a very down-to-earth man, and he's definitely that father figure Tyler needs in his life. And it's probably one of the most impactful scenes ever. So Paige is at her locker, and she's taking something out, and then that's when Matt shows up.
Want to talk?
There is nothing to talk about.
Baby, please.
I am not your baby.
Look, I know I've been a real asshole lately, and I'm sorry. But can we start over?
While this is going on, Tyler shows up to see the two of them looking at each other. That's when Paige grabs Matt's hand and takes him outside to talk to him. This is where Tyler gets the wrong idea about Paige and Matt, which is obviously not helpful considering what just happened the night before. Tyler gets so pissed off that he skips school and just goes back home, but he can't get back into his house because it's locked. Meanwhile, Paige talks to Matt and tells him how it is. She basically tells Matt that he's a piece of shit and he should leave her alone and never talk to her again, to sum it all up. I would put the audio of the scene in, but I've already done too much of that so far. But that's the best way to sum up what she says to Matt. Is, yeah, fuck off, you're a piece of shit, don't talk to me again. So yeah, Tyler got the wrong idea. But it doesn't matter because that's when Indrid will soon fill in those shoes and start adding more drama into the scene. So Paige is looking around for Tyler. Tyler doesn't show up because he's skipping school. And that's when Paige runs into Indrid. Paige asks Indrid where Tyler is. And that's when Indrid says no, he hasn't seen Tyler. Which is true. I don't think Tyler has seen Indrid for a while. And when Paige mentions something about them having to study, that's when Indrid does another one of his little tirades.
It's so sad how you look for pity from anyone stupid enough to give in to you.
I don't
I think just
understand.
because you had a bad day, the world should stop and feel sorry for you. I know what you're trying to do. You think you can use Tyler as a shoulder to cry on? He's got enough on his plate already.
Indrid, I'm not.
You know how many people would kill to have your life? You haven't had to worry about a goddamn thing since the day you were born. I see you. And you're just a prissy little bitch who knows nothing about how hard life can be.
So Indrid leaves, and Paige starts to cry again. Now this is where things really start to escalate now. We are coming up to the climax of the movie here, and things are really going to start rolling up now. So Tyler is greeted by Indrid at his door for the first time in a while. He lets him in, but Tyler doesn't seem like he wants to talk to Indrid that much. And when Indrid asks Tyler what's going on, Tyler just says he's got a lot in his mind. That's when Indrid asks him if it has to do with Paige. Tyler doesn't say anything, but then that's when Indrid starts spouting misinformation.
I saw her and Matt together today.
Yeah, and?
I don't know if,
Damn it, Indrid, don't. Just tell me.
They were making out outside by where the buses park. I told you, man. She never got over him.
Once again, taking advantage of the situation as always. And of course he has to do it when Tyler's already pissed off at Paige, because he saw her with Matt. So naturally, Tyler is going to take Indrid's word for it. Tyler talks about how he knew it was too good to be true, and that's when Tyler feels like a complete idiot. Indrid tells him he's not. He just puts too much faith in people. Tyler says that he always thought at the back of his mind people could always change, and that's when Indrid responds saying people don't change. Which is true to an extent. Some people do not change. But there are some people who can change. That is one thing he's wrong about. It's a possibility for people to change. Not everyone, but a good amount of them. And that's when Tyler asks him if he's ever had faith in people. That's when Indrid says that he basically sees the worst in everyone he meets. That's when Tyler tells Indrid that he doesn't give people a chance. And then that's when Indrid says this.
Why the hell should I? Who the hell has ever given me a chance? I've been in the dark my whole life. When things get rough, the only thing that will be there for you is yourself. It won't be the world. It won't be God. Neither of them have done a damn thing for me.
Yeah, I know.
And why even give them a chance? God, the world, they have left us behind to rot.
When's this gonna stop?
When the world burns.
Yep, Indrid's dark tendencies are now starting to affect Tyler now. As we can see, the anger is starting to spread to Tyler now. And this was Indrid's goal the whole time. So yeah, it's very clear that Indrid's dark ways are now influencing Tyler. So that's when Tyler goes into the theatre room at school. He starts playing on the piano. He plays on the piano for a bit. That's when Paige shows up and has a look. Tyler will eventually notice Paige is watching, and he'll stop playing and proceeds to make a quick exit.
Tyler, wait!
What do you want, Paige?
Can we please talk?
There's nothing to talk about.
Indrid came up to me yesterday and...
No, I'm not falling for that crap. Indrid is my friend. He warned me about you.
What are you talking about?
About your little games, your little secrets. Now you're coming up to me trying to talk bad about Indrid? No, I'm not falling for it.
I don't want to argue. I'm just worried about you.
Look, Paige, this is too hard for me. I can't keep doing this. I care about you, but
Tyler, what is happening to you?
Indrid told me.
What? What did Indrid tell you, Tyler?
You can see Tyler's starting to question his actions after she said that to him. Tyler's now having a second thought about the way he's doing things. That's when Paige tells him that he's being influenced by Indrid, and that Indrid is trying to bring down Tyler with him, which is 100% true. It's 100% true. That's what Indrid's goal has been the whole time. And that's when Paige tells Tyler he's a good person, and he shouldn't be following that path. And Tyler simply says,
I have to go.
So Tyler leaves, and Paige is left by herself. That's when she sighs in frustration and sits down in the seat. That's when she notices Tyler's sketchbook is on the ground. She picks it up and keeps it for safekeeping. Oh man, this scene right here is showing how high the tension is right now. And it's only going to get worse from here. The next day, Tyler and Indrid are playing chess. That's when Tyler asks Indrid if they're friends or not. And that's when Indrid replies with the most obvious answer.
Are you serious? Haven't I been there for you since day one? I'm pretty sure I got a cracked rib over you.
So yeah, obviously trying to make Tyler feel good, as he always does. But then that's when Indrid asks him if he's asking that because of Paige. And this is where Tyler's starting to see Indrid's bad side. He immediately assumes it's because of Paige. And then that's when Indrid proceeds to make Paige look bad, by basically saying that she's drug him into all kinds of bad things. Which, to an extent, he is right. I've always said the scene where Paige flaunts Tyler in front of Matt was always a bad thing. But apart from that, Paige hasn't really done too much, to be honest. Like, if you really think about it, the whole incident that happened between Tyler and Matt at the party, that was because Indrid took Tyler to the party. That had nothing to do with Paige. And you know what? I'm starting to think Indrid knew that Matt was going to do something like that. But I feel like Indrid just did it, just so he can make himself look like a good friend to Tyler. And I've said this the whole time. That was a situation that Indrid basically drugged Tyler into, because he was the one who drugged Tyler over to the party. Tyler seems convinced by what he said. He's thinking that Indrid is making sense.
She'll get what's coming to her.
And then that's when Tyler gets curious again. And Tyler asks him, what does he mean? And then that's when Indrid flips out.
What is it with you, huh? The bitch plays you for a fool, screws with your head, and dropped you like a bad habit, and you still give her the benefit of the doubt? I don't get it.
So, yeah. I think it's safe to say Indrid's starting to lose Tyler now. And Indrid knows this. That's why he's getting very defensive. That's when the doorbell rings. So Tyler's left in Indrid's room by himself. And then, that's when Tyler sees a scrunched up sticky note on his desk. Out of curiosity, Tyler goes over to it and unscrews it and has a look at it. It was the message Tyler's mother left on the fridge. And this, right here, sealed Indrid's fate. Tyler now knows what the truth is. He now realizes all the stuff that just happened was Indrid's doing this whole time. And it's such a riveting moment. You can see the way Tyler looks, the revelation in his eyes. And honestly, thank fucking Christ. And I'm sure this is the moment all of you were hoping for as well. Tyler eventually realizing that Indrid is a horrible, horrible human being. That's when Indrid comes back into the room. Tyler asks who is at the door. And that's when Indrid says,
Jehovah's Witness. Those people have got some nerve.
That's when Tyler asks for a ride home. And when Tyler asks for a ride home, Indrid did not like the sound of that at all. You can see the look in his eyes. He knows that Tyler is starting to turn away from him. So as they're about to leave, Tyler looks at the gun cabinet again. And then that's when he leaves. So Tyler and Indrid head back to Tyler's house. Tyler gets out of Indrid's car. And that's when Indrid says this.
Ty! I won't be able to give you a ride tomorrow. I got something I gotta take care of.
Oh boy. Here we go. And Tyler, knowing what he knows now, let's just go over the things that Tyler has found out about Indrid. He's found out that Indrid has manipulated Tyler the whole time. He found out Indrid basically poisoned Tyler against his own mother. He constantly puts out misinformation about Paige to make her seem like the bad person. And the biggest thing Tyler noticed, the fact that Indrid lied about the fact that he knew Derek. Indrid said that he didn't know Derek, but he did. And when you put two and two together, the fact that Derek was shot and Indrid has a gun cabinet? Yes, Tyler's connecting all the dots here. Tyler knew something was coming when Indrid said he has someone to take care of. Now that he's connected all those dots. So after pondering what's been going on, Tyler has been sat at his desk this whole time thinking about all this. That's when he opens his drawer and he sees Paige's phone number. That's when Tyler calls Paige, and he calls to apologize to her. And then that's when Paige asks him what's going on.
Just tell me what's going on.
I know I don't always say what I'm thinking, and that I keep most of it inside. But I'm just scared of what you might think if I told you how I felt, and what it really means.
You can tell me anything, Tyler.
It's just there's so much going on inside, you know? And I'm being pulled in every direction. I get so lost sometimes. Can we meet? Can you come to my place in the morning?
I have a study group, first period. I could come right after.
And what Tyler says is very ominous.
If you can't, I'll understand. But if you change your mind, I'll be waiting for you. I hope you come.
Tyler, you're scaring me.
Bye, Paige.
Tyler! Tyler!
So, yeah, it's a very ominous, almost morbid. It almost sounds like Tyler is saying goodbye to Paige, like forever. It's like he thinks he's gonna die. It's very bizarre. That's when Paige starts to look at Tyler's art book. That's when she comes across a sketch of her and Tyler kissing. Paige seems to like it, as she smiles when she looks at it. And then that's when she comes across a sketch of what it seems like someone drowning in water. It kind of freaks her out a little bit. Then she turns the page. Then she comes across a sketch of what it seems to be a wolf mauling, I would presume, Paige, which is what I'm sure Tyler drew while he was pissed off at Paige. And this clues Paige in on what's going on with Tyler and how he's feeling about things. And it's painting a very dark and dangerous look. And it's all gonna come down. So Tyler goes to sleep, and that's when he starts to have a dream. From what it seems like, he's having a flashback to what he was like as a kid again. We see young Tyler going down the stairs, and then he sees his dad sitting at a table. Young Tyler is about to go over to his dad. Tyler's dad seems to be looking at a family photo. That's when Tyler's dad holds a gun to his head and kills himself. Now that is really dark, and it explains a lot about Tyler. Tyler, when he was young, literally witnessed his own dad kill himself. It gives me the chills every time I watch it, and it just shows how much Tyler has been through, and explains everything about his mother. So the next day, Tyler is at his desk. It seems like he's writing letters. It seems like he's writing a letter to Mr. Stevenson, as well as his mum. We don't know what these letters are, but Tyler goes over to the couch and sees his mother sleeping on the couch, probably passed out from alcohol. Tyler puts the blanket over his mother. Something about this scene seems odd. It's almost like Tyler's sitting next to his mother for the last time in his life. Tyler really thinks he's gonna die today. At least that's just the vibe I'm getting from this. I can't put it any other way. Like, why is he acting like this is his last day? That's when Tyler goes outside to see a newspaper at the front door. He looks at it. It turns out Wes, who was in the car accident, has passed away from his injuries now. That's yet another person who's died in the last week. It's a very ominous sign of things to come. Paige is getting ready for school, and she looks like she's about to take Tyler's sketchbook and take it back to him. But then she decides to leave it behind. So Tyler gets to school, and that's where he sees Indrid in the parking lot. He goes over to Indrid to see that Indrid is preparing his firearms.
Thought you had something to do.
Get out of here, Tyler.
What's going on, Indrid?
Go home.
Yep, it looks like Tyler was right all along. He knew this was coming. So Indrid walks away. That's when Tyler goes into the school, and he goes to the main office receptionist, and Tyler gives her the note for Mrs. Stevenson, but he says do not look at it, which is odd, but okay. That's when we see Indrid go into the bathroom. He goes into one of the stalls, and that's when he stands on top of the toilet, and he removes the drop tile above him. Presumably something is up there. And we soon see it's a bag containing a loaded shotgun as well as some ammo. Indrid arms himself with this equipment, and he soon leaves the bathroom. But that's when Tyler's mother wakes up to find the note on the table that Tyler wrote for her. She opens the note to have a look at it, and this is what the note says. Mum, something very bad is going to happen today at school. If I can stop it, I promise I will. I couldn't stop Dad from killing himself. I can't seem to stop you from killing yourself either. But maybe I can stop some things that are even worse. If I can't, know that I tried. When Paige gets here, keep her safe. Keep her here until you hear from me, or until you simply hear. Love you, Tyler. So yeah, it's a very final goodbye sounding note. He really does think something's going to happen, which, knowing the circumstances now, where Indrid is armed and dangerous, yep, it makes sense now. And I appreciate the confidence Tyler has. Tyler's basically saying that he's either going to stop the shooting or die trying, which I love the confidence Tyler has. I feel like he got this confidence from Mr. Stevenson because of the whole speech about never stop fighting. Speaking of Mr. Stevenson gets his note. Mr. Stevenson opens the note, and it says, absolution from the past, make the call, make it count. And what does Tyler mean by that? Tyler's basically telling him, it's finally time for Mr. Stevenson to be the hero. Mr. Stevenson's time has come to shine. And that's when Mr. Stevenson looks up and sees the security camera footage, and he sees Indrid walking down the hallway, armed and dangerous. In a quick panic, Mr. Stevenson grabs his walkie-talkie and calls the authorities. So Indrid approaches the window of the study room. It's the place where Paige and her friends would hang out. Paige is not there, but Paige's other friends are. And Indrid has his sights locked. He seems to have his eyes locked on the girl with the blue flannel. Now, we don't know exactly why he's targeting this person specifically, but I'm sure he has a reason for it. And it's one of Paige's friends as well, which obviously, I'm sure that fuels Indrid's wanting to actually do this. But before Indrid could do anything...
You can't have her, Indrid. You can't have her.
That's when Indrid remarks that it's all for nothing. Basically saying he doesn't see life worth living anymore and he'd rather go out this way. And that's when Indrid remarks, kind of snarkily, oh, it's all for love. And that's when Tyler says this.
Because without it, we're monsters, Indrid.
What do you think you are?
No.
And this statement is so goddamn true. I'm sorry, I'm probably going to get very emotional here. I do apologize, but just based on the things I've gone through in my life, I'm not going into too many details about it, but I'm also someone who wasn't shown love a lot in his life. And I do get Indrid's frustration, I really do. But this is not the way to go about it. This is not going to get people to like you. Love is the most important thing a human can give to another human. Because if humans did not have love, we would all be monsters. So what Tyler is saying is dead true. That's when Tyler tells Indrid how it is and how much of a scam artist he is.
No. I know you lied about Derek. About Paige, about everything. How do you do this to someone? To me? Answer me, you coward!
Tyler is finally taking a stand against Indrid now. Indrid proceeds to make fun of Tyler for standing up for himself. And that's when Tyler tells him to answer him. That's when Indrid threatens to pull the trigger on him with the shotgun. That's when Tyler asks Indrid why did he even bother pretending. And this is where Indrid says all the things that I guessed, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guessed about him.
Because at one point I thought I'd take you along for the ride.
Yep, he's basically admitting that, yeah, I wanted to take you down with me, Tyler. That's literally what he's admitting to. We all fucking knew that from the very start. That's when Tyler says how much he's betrayed his trust. That's when Indrid says,
You don't think I confided in you? You don't think I trusted you? I was there for you since the beginning. And you turn your back on me for what? For what? Some insipid idea? Some bitch?
Listen to yourself.
So yeah, Indrid is playing the victim now. Basically acting like he was the one who was betrayed, even though he was the one who tried to poison Tyler against his own mother. Let's not forget that part. And what Tyler says here is very true.
Listen to yourself, Indrid. It's not how you think it is.
I know how it is.
How we carry ourselves in times of adversity defines who we are.
Yes, there's always going to be times of great sorrow in our lives, but how we carry ourselves through it is what defines us. And trust me, I've been through times of great sorrow in my life. I've attempted one on myself before, so I've been through a lot, and those dark times I've been through define me. I came out on the other side much stronger than I used to be, and that's exactly what Tyler's saying here. But Indrid doesn't agree. He thinks it's all about showing what he's made of. And Indrid basically says that it's always meant to be this way. Basically saying that Indrid was always meant to be the one to basically shoot up a school. That's literally what he's saying. Like, what else is he saying? That's when Tyler pleads to Indrid, please do not do this, Indrid. Do not throw your life away and do this. But then that's when Indrid does this.
Who's gonna stop me?
So, yeah, Indrid is ready to pull the trigger on Tyler and kill him. And Tyler just stands there, wondering what to do next. He completely freezes up. And honestly, I don't blame him, because I wouldn't know what to do in that situation either. However, as this is going on, that's when the SWAT team shows up. The SWAT team fully corners Indrid. That's when Indrid steps back. And without hesitation, Indrid proceeds to hold up his shotgun and he's about to shoot Tyler with it. But before he could do that, the squad leader shoots Indrid, knocking him to the ground before anything could happen, saving Tyler's life. Oh man, being a fucking SWAT team member, or even being in any kind of police force, must be very, very intense. I can't imagine what they go through. That's when the police chief grabs Tyler and takes him out of the room. And that's when Tyler is greeted by Mr. Stevenson. Mr. Stevenson hugs Tyler, basically telling Tyler, "I've got you. You're safe." And that's true. Tyler is safe. And Indrid has been taken care of. So, Tyler is successful in what he did. Both Tyler and Mr. Stevenson were very successful today. They stopped Indrid from taking out a terrorist attack on the school. Meanwhile, in the hallway, a bunch of students are lined up in the hallway wanting to see what's going on, but the police officers are stopping them from pushing past. That's when Paige sees Tyler and shoves straight through and goes over to him and hugs him. And the same thing happens to Tyler's mother. Tyler's mother comes past and sees Tyler as well. Everyone is happy that Tyler is safe. That's it. That's where the movie ends. So yeah, that ends this movie. And I've got to say, I felt like the ending of this movie was a little underwhelming. Not saying that the incident between Tyler and Indrid was fine. I don't have a problem with that. The way it ended after that, the way how there's just no audible talking, there's no like final scene of Tyler talking to everyone or anything. We just see them looking at each other and hugging each other. I don't know, I feel like they could have done more for a final scene. I really do think that. I feel like they could have done more, but honestly, I'm not too fussed. It's still a good ending, trust me. I'm not gonna throw any hate towards it, but I feel like it could have been much better. But yeah, that is Natural Selection. Oh boy. This is probably where I'm gonna get very emotional about this. So why did I watch this movie when I was 18 years old and I just finished high school? Because I was around the time that I was in such a depressive state. I was feeling lost at life, and I felt like I had no purpose in life. And that's why I naturally gravitated to a movie like this, about someone going through a similar thing that I went through. I'm not saying I'm a horrible person like fucking Indrid is. That's not what I'm saying. Nowhere near it. The things Indrid was suffering with, it really resonated with me. Like, I understand what it's like to have no one there to care for you, to feel like everything you do means nothing. Like, 'cause I've been there. I have been there, still have been there, so I fully understand what it's like for him. But obviously, the way Indrid went about it is not the answer. It's not worth ruining your life. It's just not. And the main reason why I'm doing this video in the first place is because I feel like this movie can be a great lesson for us all. Let's start with the parenting side of things. Clearly Indrid was lacking parental authority in his life, and he really needed to be kept in check, but no one did. And let this be a lesson to all the parents out there. Please be there for your children. I know it can be hard. Trust me, I'm not trying to stay on a soapbox here with this one, because I'm not a parent, so I have no idea. But what I do know is that you have to be there for your children, because if you don't, we get people like Indrid. There's a reason why so many young teenagers commit these kind of crimes in the US every day. And the second thing to note, this is the part where I'm really going to start getting emotional. If there's someone in your life who you see is struggling and is not having a good time, please just give them a hug and tell them how much they mean to you. Make them feel like their life isn't meaningless. Make them feel like they do have a purpose. Because when people are not showing love in their lives, they get to this point where they feel like their life is meaningless and they have no purpose. And I'm saying this as someone who goes through those feelings every day. I feel like I have no one to care about me half the time. And I wish I knew the secret formula to actually make people like me. But I don't. I'm just your average adult who is dealing with autism, and naturally that makes a lot of people dislike me. I'm sure you probably hearing this now is probably made you regret even watching the video. But seriously, we all need to treat each other well. Like, treat everyone good. Because when we don't, that's how the humanity falls apart. So everyone who is watching this video now, find someone you love tonight and tell them how much they mean to you. It can make all the difference in everyone's lives when they're told that. And that's why I think this movie, like many other people think, should have won an Oscar. Because this movie really highlights the bad side of society that we should all work on improving, and that's spreading more love in this world instead of hatred, because Lord knows there's a lot of hatred in this world, and we need to do our best to quell it. And that's why I did this deep dive on this movie. Not only is this one of my favourite movies ever, because it has such a powerful message behind it, it really resonated with me during a time of great need, and it made me feel like I wasn't alone. And from what I've seen online, this movie kind of went under the radar when it first released, which is pretty unfortunate. Like, I've seen very little content on YouTube about this movie, and it's very sad to see. I haven't seen anyone do a deep dive on this movie. No one's analysed this movie or done any of that on YouTube. And I feel like this is the kind of movie that would make for an interesting video if you were to analyse the whole thing and go over it. So I'm glad that I did. Hey guys, before I leave today, I just want to give you guys a huge thank you for watching this video. Especially if you made it this far into the video. I really do appreciate anyone who's watched it this far. This video has taken a long time for me to make, so I really do appreciate it if any of you guys enjoyed it and found this video very insightful. I've always wanted to do this for a long time, but now the video is finally done, I feel like I've accomplished something finally. And I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you guys really did enjoy this, please leave a like on it and leave a comment on your thoughts about it. I'm a very talkative person, and I'll definitely be replying to anyone in the comments who asks anything. Thank you all for watching. And thank you especially to everyone who's made it all the way to the end. It means so much to me, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Everyone, stay safe, and I'll see you guys another day.